You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend of his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
All right, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Experience. It's the Ron Kelly Show, everybody, and it's on no longer on blogtalkradio.com. Blogtalkradio.com is out of business, actually. So the Ron Kelly Show will be on Spreaker or one of those. We'll figure it out. Anyway, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me. It's January 16th already. It seems like I just celebrated the new year last night. But yes, it's January 16th already. Welcome, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, broadcasting live right now on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and, of course, on Facebook. Thanks so much for joining me. Thank you so much for hanging in there with a brother. Happy New Year if I didn't see you. All right, so I was off last week because actually I was preparing for a colonoscopy last week. And so I had to drink that stuff, and I couldn't eat. I didn't eat all day that Thursday, no eating, in preparation for the colonoscopy, which went down on Friday. And thankfully, there was no polyps and no signs of cancer. So, and I was worried about, because I put it off a couple times. It's about 4 or 5 minutes past the hour. I put it off a couple times, and then I just finally surrendered and said, you know what, I got to go do this. So I sucked it up and and took a deep breath, and then they kept, and then truthfully speaking, they kept scheduling it. They kept every time I didn't show up, they reschedule it. Every time I didn't show up, they reschedule it. So finally, after about 2 or 3 times of me not showing up, I said, well, you know what? I got to take care of this. So I went to, last Thursday, I wasn't on the program because, I would have been running back and forth to the bathroom because, to do the colonoscopy, you have to make sure your system is completely clean, meaning you can't eat or anything like that. So I didn't eat all day Thursday, and I went in Friday morning, and thankfully there was no issues. There was no cancer, no signs of cancer, no polyps. So grateful for that. So I would suggest anybody, man or woman, to definitely go and get yourself checked out. All right, everybody? The show is about 3.5 minutes old. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. And it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook Live. Live on all 3, actually, right now. So a lot of us are waiting with bated breath for the demise of TikTok. They may just be saved because Trump likes TikTok. So, we'll see what happens with that. But, you would think that the mean-spiritedness of the psycho, kook fringe GOP, you would think that the mean-spiritedness, okay, you got your man, Trump is going to be the president in 3 days. And you would think that the psycho, kook fringe, Republican, Trump-backing nincompoops would finally calm down. Like, okay, we got our man. Trump is the president now. No need to keep it up with the rhetoric, the ridiculous rhetoric. But oh no, as expected, the GOP and the Trump supporters are still at it, still with the nonsense, still with the, with the lies about voting, and they're still at it. You go on LinkedIn or some of these other websites that are politically connected, you'll see it. Still with the psychopaths. Still talking about Biden. Biden's only got 3 days before he loses his job, but they're still talking, still with the crazy, deranged voter, nonsense, and it just never stops. It just never stops. There's Fox News is still at it. Newsmax, psychos, still at it. Still at it. Well, you would think, all right, you got your president. You got your man. Trump is what you wanted. Boom, you got it. You got Trump as the president. You have control of the Senate, not by much. And you've got control of the House of Representatives. That not by much either. So you would think that, okay, you got the trifecta. You don't have control of the Supreme Court, which is something that I said, but R. Kelly right, R. Kelly wrong. But yeah, you got what you wanted. And it still goes on. The lies about the 2020, but it was 4 years ago. You got your man. What is the problem? What is the problem? But you still hear it. You still hear it. The psychos, the kook fringe Republicans, right-leaning nincompoops, they're still out there. They're still at it. And they're just never going to stop. So for the next 4 years, you got your Trump. You got who you wanted to be president, and you're still talking. Still with the lies about the 2020 vote. Still with, the vitriol and the nastiness and the just the plain out and out mean-spirited statements that the GOP and the kook fringe MAGA folks are still talking. And you would think they would have stopped by like, okay, we can relax now. I mean, we got Trump. But no, still going, still talking, still the psychobabble nonsense. The GOP and the right-leaning MAGA psychos are still talking. Still talking. Yeah. So it's about 11 minutes past the hour. So Monday, the inauguration of Trump. I'm not going to talk about Trump for the whole show. You can rest. You can believe that. But I will talk about some stuff that's related to Trump now. Monday is the inauguration of the 47th, I believe, president of the United States of America. And unfortunately, it's going to be Donald Trump. But you know what? But I tell you what, if he told a lot of lies on the campaign trail. Let's not get it mixed up. And you black folks out there, you blacks and you Hispanics who put him over the top, you're just so foolish and stupid that you don't know your left hand from your right. And, you don't know what kind of monster you created. You released the Kraken. You have released the Kraken. But he's going to be nominated. I mean, he's going to be inaugurated on Monday. And, it's kind of ironic that it's the same day that the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. It's a day when Trump is going to be inaugurated. Look at the irony of that. Look at the irony. People are texting me. Look at the irony of Trump being inaugurated on the holiday, the celebrated holiday of the greatest civil rights leader ever. And he's the greatest civil rights leader that's ever going to be. We can look into the future, go into the future 100 years. Nobody's going to be more significant, more powerful than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it's just ironic that this man is going to be inaugurated as president of the United States, 78 years old. He'll be the same age as Biden when he leaves, because he's only 4 years younger than Biden. And he talks about Biden like Biden is the old guy. You're both old guys. So it's ironic that Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as president of the United States on the Martin Luther King, the MLK holiday. Quite ironic. Because the black folks who voted for Trump are just, I don't know what you were thinking about. You were just, I don't know. I don't get it. And no, it's not necessarily about just black and white. It's about what's in it for me. So you voted for Trump, and what's in it for you is you got the richest man in the world's got his hand in Trump's back because Trump worships wealth. He worships it. He worships, instead of having a picture of Jesus, he's got probably a stack of money that he kneels down and worships to, because that's what he's about. He's all about the money. Now, you black folks and you Hispanics who voted for Trump who ain't got no money, do you really think you're going to get anything out of this man? I mean, I know it's kind of, Monday morning quarterbacking because you already voted. You can't take it, but you're going to regret that vote. You're going to regret that vote. The Hispanics who voted for Trump, when Trump starts, see, because, the thought in the Hispanic community is that, well, I'm a citizen, I got a green card. I got nothing to worry about. Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. Because a large amount of the folks who came over here, they were let in because they knew somebody who already lived here. And many of them were able to shelter with folks or family members that were already here. So what do you think is going to happen when Tom Hogan, the border czar, when they start repatriating people? Do you think that you're safe? No, you're not. No, you're not. Because if you got people living with you, if you got relatives who are undocumented and they're with you, guess what? You might get swept up in it. Because they're talking about getting rid of the whole family. Okay, you worried about us separating? Are you worried about us separating families? Okay, we'll send the whole family back. And that's what they're about to do. Sanctuary cities and et cetera, all around the country are gearing up for the mass exodus. Because Trump says on the day that he takes office, what he's going to do. Just unbelievable. Now, some stuff that Trump wants to do, I do agree. So some things that Trump wants to do, I do agree. Okay. I mean, I don't agree how it's going to take place, but I agree that some things should be done. Like birthright citizenship, for example. Born here, you're an automatic citizen. No. Trump wants to repeal that, and I agree with Trump that should be repealed. Because the birthright citizenship is being abused. In China, they have, travel agencies that cater to pregnant women who want to have their babies in America. It's a cottage industry. It's a business where they bring the women over here. The women don't know anybody in America. They know no one. Never been here. Never wanted to be here, only to have their baby. So you have your travel agencies. They take care of everything. It's just like they're like a tourist. You got a place to stay. You got a hotel, accommodations. Everything is done. You pay up one fee, and everything is done for you. Airline, just like a travel agency. Hey, I want to go to Italy. Okay, well, we'll take care of your fare, your airfare, all your whatever you have to pay when you go on tour, yada, yada. They have businesses in China that do the same thing. Same thing. Hey, I want to go to America to have my baby. Well, okay, we'll book your flight. We'll make sure you got a hotel. We'll hook you up with a good obstetrician. Yeah, you can have your baby. Your baby is born in it because people want who wouldn't want the baby born in America? But what they're doing is illegal. So it's coming here on visas, and leaving with an American citizen. So I agree with that. I agree with that what Trump has done. Now, I also agree with, I agree that there should be something done about the undocumented who have come here and have not gone through the system. Yeah, I agree something should be done. I mean, it should be done humanely, but I think that I agree that something should be done because you got a bunch of people here you don't know what they were doing in their countries. They could have been killers, they could have been rapists, they could have been child molesters. You don't know. See, because we keep pretty good track of our child molesters here in America, but we don't know what these people were doing, as evidenced by the illegal immigrant that set the woman on fire. Now, that's not to say that they're all like that. Most of them are probably hardworking people who just want a better way of life and can't get it nowhere else but here, because America is everything. And you're not going to go to England, you're not going to go to Italy and do as well as you can do in America. Where else could you go and win $1 billion in the lottery? Where else? Best, you don't have to worry got the best. What is that? Got the best. I know what it is. Okay, boom. I want to hit the wrong thing. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, who wouldn't want to be in America? But you have to do it right. You got to do it right. So yeah, so there's a couple of things that Trump does that I agree with. The votes, wow, just wow. Because Kamala Harris, despite what I've said, Kamala Harris could have won that race if she would have got the support. But black folks bailed on the Democrats, and I kind of understand, but you're betting on a horse with a broken leg when it comes to Donald Trump. With a broken leg in regards to your needs, your aspirations, your goals, what you want out of life. You put your money on a horse with a broken leg. Because, like, for example, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, is disappearing quickly. That was something that materialized under Obama, I believe, and Joe Biden. So now it's disappearing. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Many of the largest companies, including the biggest real retailer in America, which has plenty of black folks, at Walmart. Walmart is ending its diversity and inclusion plan. Diversity, equity, inclusion. Ending it. They already got rid of affirmative action, which I wasn't the biggest. I wasn't the biggest fan of affirmative action either. But it's already starting to happen. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And these biggest companies, Amazon, it's the companies that have the biggest minority employee role. Those are the ones that are doing it. So you got diversity, equity, inclusion is going down the toilet already, before Trump even made it to the White House. Already, some of the biggest companies in America. This is what you black folks voted for them to get rid of affirmative action, for them to get rid of diversity, inclusion, diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what you voted for. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. You know what? You can believe this. We're going to take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. And it's on blogtalkradio.com, the Ron Kelly Show. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, and welcome back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's 21 minutes. Well, the show is 21 minutes old, though it's beginning to feel a lot. No, it's 25 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock right here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Um, oh boy. Anyway, welcome back. Shout out to my peoples at the American Porterfield Transportation for 44 years. 45 years. American Porterfield Transportation has been your source, your go-to for your transportation needs. School districts, field trips, trips to the casinos, senior bus rides, family reunions, you name it, American Porterfield can handle it. You can give them a call. As a matter of fact, it's 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423. You won't be left on the side of the road with American Porterfield Transportation. Reliable vehicles, outstanding customer service, you name it, they can do it. It will be a best experience, and you'll be telling your friends. So make sure you give them a call, 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423 for the Ron Kelly Show. The Ron Kelly Show is sponsored in part by Amica and Porterfield Transportation at 23 minutes past hour. What's up, Ronald McCready, my brother? We got a couple more days left for Trumpism is about to hit the stage Monday on the anniversary. Well, on the blah 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 on the day that we choose to celebrate the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So Trump's inauguration on the day that we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Just unbelievable. Just unbelievable that his inauguration falls on the same day that we celebrate the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I believe it's January 20th. Yeah, January 20th. And so when I used to work, where I used to work at one of my past employers, they used to have a sign-up sheet because they wanted to know who was going to stay home on MLK Day. And every year, most of the guys who signed it were white. Every year, most of the guys, the majority, the lion's share of the men who worked where I used to work at would sign that sheet, the sign-up sheet, because they wanted to know, like, so they can plan and, accordingly. Most of the guys who signed that sheet were white, and I'm like, it's not a black holiday. And many of us like to think that, including myself. It's not a black holiday. It's a holiday, but not a black holiday. But, I'm like, the Martin Luther King Day, it shouldn't just be for black people, but you know how we think sometimes. So I used to go to this restaurant of mine. I lived in Montclair, New Jersey, the Chinese restaurant. And the people who owned it or ran it, their kid used to be in there. It was a little kid. But he was always doing homework or something. So, I looked at the little kid. I used to look, as I asked the lady about him, I said, hey, how's your son? He's in high school now. I'm like, wow, okay. Very nice. And so when I looked at the kid, I'm like, well, he's probably going to wind up being a doctor or something. You know, that's how I looked at it. He's probably gonna wind up being a doctor. This white kid, this Chinese kid, a doctor, a lawyer, something special. And when you look at a white kid, most of us think that way. When you see a Chinese kid, an Asian kid, most of us think that kid grows up, he's going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a scientist, you know, minds his manners, listens to his parents, this type of thing. And so when you look at a white kid, you may not. Now I look at a white kid, I may not think that he minds his manners and minds his parents, but I feel that he's got the advantage too. So the Asian kid's got the advantage of strict family margins that he stays within. The white kid's got the advantage of connections, parents with resources, because the Asian kid is going to grow up in a regimented family. It's not going to be all crazy and psycho. They're not going to be living in a hood and all of these type of things. They're going to be living somewhere, and the family is going to make sure that kid gets ahead. Same thing for white folks. When you see a white kid, that white kid is going to have resources, families with connections, and they're going to get ahead. But what about the black kid? When you look at the black kid, what do you see? When you look at the black child, what do you see? With the Asian kid, you see regimen, with Indian kid, they're always winning the spelling bees. They're always winning the science, the Westinghouse Prize for high schoolers. It's never a black person. Never a black person. All of these scientific stuff, the spelling bee and all these things are won mostly by Indian children. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But when you look at the Indian kid, you see that it's highly likely that he's going to wind up being successful, a doctor, a pharmacist, a lawyer, or something. When you look at the Asian kid, same thing. When you look at the future of the Asian kid, you think that he's going to be a success. With the white kid, you look at that kid, and if you want to be honest, as I'm being honest right now, as I usually am on this program, you look at that white kid. So the Indian kid is going to be successful. The Asian kid is going to be successful. The white kid is going to be successful. But what do you see when you look at the black kid? What do you see? Most of us, if we're honest about it, see failure. For the little black boy, you see jail, gang membership, dropping out of school, running the street. But you don't think that about the Indian child. You don't think that about the Asian child. You don't think about that about the white kid. But when you look at the black kid, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Always going to be, he's going to be a failure. So why is that? Why do we look at other races and see success, and we look at our own people and see failure? Why is that? Why is that? Well, you see, because we look at other races and we see that they have culture. And I don't mean manners and all that stuff. I mean culture, traditions, things that go down in every family, things that they do. I mean, like the Indians, they arrange marriages. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but it works. The marriages are not always successful, but that's part of their culture. That's what they do. So you look at the Asian kid, you see he's going to be successful. You look at the Indian kid, he's going to win the Westinghouse Prize, become a doctor, a lawyer, something special. The white kid. But when you look at the black kid, what do you see? When I look at the black kid, I don't see all of that stuff. I mean, I hope so. But see, but those other ethnic groups have the infrastructure to make these things happen. They have the infrastructure. And this is why it happens for them. See, black folks, we don't have that infrastructure. We don't have the connections. We don't have the resources, you know, and we don't have, and more importantly, we don't have the environment. You know, when we plant our kids, we plant our kids in cement. You know, black, white folks, Indian, Native American, Asian, they plant their kids in soil. We plant our kids in dirt because that's all we have for the most part is dirt. And so you look at these people, these other ethnic groups, and you see some kind of success. I mean, okay, a lot of them, the Indians own 7-Elevens. Okay, but I mean, that, I don't consider that a success. I mean, you own a business. You know, see, with black folks, we don't have a playbook for success. We don't have a playbook for success. You know, the Willie Lynch, and you know, we're still suffering from Willie Lynch syndrome like 400 years later. If you want to believe that, I don't believe that. I read the little Willie Lynch handbook. I read it several times. And I don't believe that we're suffering from that. Oh, we're suffering from making excuses. That's what we're suffering from, excuses. Because that's what we do, make excuses. Yeah. It's time for the finger pointing to stop. Here we go, another MLK Day. You know how many MLK days there's been? A lot. You know how much success we've had? A little. I was riding over a Black Lives Matter, you painted on the ground. Why do you think they used paint that they knew was going to wear away at some point? They don't use that for yellow lines. They don't use that for double lines, for crosswalks. They use paint that's going to stay there forever. But when they painted the Black Lives Matter, they used paint that they knew at some point would wear away. But black folks didn't get the memo. You know, they knew it was going to wear away at some point, and it has. Everywhere you go, everywhere I go, I'm outside in the streets all day. And you see the Black Lives Matter where they painted it, the paint is wearing away. But that yellow line's not going anywhere. That crosswalk's not going anywhere. But that Black Lives Matter is gone, practically. And yeah, okay, there was some controversy. The money wasn't spent right. Somebody bought a house, allegedly. You know. But we're basically victims of our own laziness. And other groups capitalize on that. See, because we got to stop with the backwards thinking. Ain't no stopping us now. How long ago was that song come out? Everybody's walking around, ain't no stopping us now. Really? Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. Really? What happened? Nothing. You always get us to go against each other. That's how Trump won. Trump was able to get black folks to go against a black woman. That's exactly what happened. Trump was able to convince black folks that another black person wouldn't be good for them. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother. I mean, really. Trump was able to convince black voters that he would be better for them than another black person. Black folks went for it. And they ran in the toll booth, the phone booth, the voting booth, and voted for Trump. Now, as I said earlier in the program, there's some things that I like that he proposes. I think they should maybe not get rid of the people. I mean, I think they should do it humanely, but I do think that people who came here without being checked should leave. I believe that. So you won't get an argument from me there. Illegal immigrants, folks who came to America who were not checked and vetted, should go back where they came from and do the system right, do the process right. Yeah, I believe that. I think when he said that he would take taxes over overtime, that was a sucker move. Everybody fell for that one. I can't say that I didn't either. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, but I can't say that I didn't like that either, because I did like no income tax on overtime. That would put a lot of money in overtime folks like me who works a considerable amount of overtime. That would be great. Trump says, Trump said, I'm going to untax overtime. That would be great. I would love that. I'd vote for him in 28, even though he can't run, if he could pull that off. But see, it was a sucker move. Everybody fell for it. They fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Black folks especially. What the hell did you think Trump was going to do for you? I mean, really? So he says, I'm going to lower food prices. Really, Trump? Got no control over food prices. Neither did Biden. Neither did Harris. Neither did Obama. Neither did the first Trump. Neither did Bill Clinton or George Bush twice, Bill Clinton twice. You can't control the food price no more than you can control the stock market. I mean, give me a break. It can't be done. Yeah, what are you going to do? And he went to his campaign saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And nobody thought like, well, can he do that? Especially black folks. Nobody was like, well, let me do some research on that. Let me see how much control the president has over food prices. Let me see how much control the president has on gas prices. None. Now, if there's a gas shortage, he can release the strategic, because there's millions of gallons of fuel that the United States has saved in these giant, this giant refinery, well, not a refinery, but storage place with these 10 zillion gallon containers. So that just strategic reserve is a millions of gallons of fuel that the United States keeps on hand, just in case something happens with OPEC, or if we start fighting with the Saudis or whatever, and now we don't have any fuel. No, we do have fuel. Millions and millions of gallons of fuel, in case we start fighting with somebody and they refuse to give us any more. And some of it we produce ourselves anyway. But yeah, now if he wants to, like Biden has done, released the strategic oil reserve to try to lower prices, yeah, that's one thing. But Trump can't control the price of fuel. Trump can't control the price of food. What the hell was you thinking about? Just suckers, basically. Suckers. All right, people, we'll take a break. Oh, God, we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show, and it's on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Alrighty then, it's 17 minutes before the hour. Actually, it's 14 minutes before the hour. I started a couple minutes past the 7 o'clock hour. Anyway, everybody, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program on another Thursday. It's January 16th already, 2025. Boy, wow. And I remember what I was doing in the 90s. But anyway, welcome back. Greetings, everybody. And, thank you to the people on LinkedIn, because the Ron Kelly Show, and I can't see everybody on the program. I know it says 2 or 3 listeners, 2 or 3 viewers, but I can't see everybody who, because then I go on the statistics and there were hundreds of viewers, sometimes thousands. And I'm like, well, where are they? I don't know if Facebook just doesn't show them, or maybe it only shows people that I know. I don't know. Or it might just show people that I'm friends with. I got to look into that, because I know there's not only 2 people listening to my show. This is the R. Kelly Show. What are you talking about? Anyway, it's 13 minutes before the hour, 16 minutes before the end of the program. So Monday, MLK Day, Trump is going to take the oath of office. And he says he's going to release all the January 6th people, which I totally believe he will. Because, for anybody to think he didn't do it, was anybody listening? Did any of y'all get the memo, you folks who voted for Donald Trump? Did you get the memo, especially black folks? Did you get the memo? Probably not. Because if you got it, you wouldn't have voted for it. Just unbelievably ridiculous with what happened with that. And I think that was the difference for Kamala Harris. And then she had to turn around and certify Trump as the winner over her. I wonder if that's ever been done before. Because Kamala Harris is the president of the Senate until Monday, president of the Senate. So she oversees all, when there's an election, she swears in the senators, the congressmen, whoever who come in. The newbies. And so she was swearing in a senator recently, last week maybe. She was swearing in a senator. She was swearing in the Senator Deb. I can't think of her name right now. Let me take a quick look here, because I want to be able to back up everything I say. And she was swearing in a senator, newly elected, Deb Fisher. She was swearing in. You can look it up. She was swearing in Deb Fisher, and Deb Fisher's husband happened to be there. So Deb Fisher was across from Kamala Harris, and Deb Fisher's husband was standing right next to Kamala Harris, in the middle. And so after Kamala Harris swore in the new Senator Deb Fisher, she shook Deb Fisher's hand, and then she went to reach for the husband, and the husband refused to shake her hand. The husband refused to shake the vice president's hand, the first South Asian black vice president of the United States of America. And see, this is what shows you, this shows you how white folks, most of them, really feel about black people. It shows you the contempt that a lot of those white folks have for black folks. The MAGA movement, Make America Great Again. What the hell do you think they mean by that? That we're gonna, lower taxes? That we're gonna, push back on the government to stay out of our business? Because that's what the Republicans. There wasn't no MAGA back then. Or maybe there was. They just didn't have a leader. There was a MAGA. There's always been a MAGA, but they needed a leader. Somebody who you would have to respect no matter what. And Donald Trump being president is somebody you would have to respect no matter what. And it's just, it's ironic that Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated on the same day do we celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's just so ironic. And that black folks put him there. Not singularly, but black folks helped Donald Trump become president. Black folks, black people he has no interest in helping, helped put him in the White House. Minorities. Latinos, Hispanics helped put Donald Trump in the White House. You people who he has no interest in helping. You know who he has interest in helping? Elon Musk, who's going to wind up being the first trillionaire behind Trump. Because why do you think Elon Musk is involved with Trump in the first place? To make money. To make more money, because he's got a SpaceX and he's got all this other stuff, and there's going to be billions and billions of dollars of government contracts that are going to go to Elon Musk. See, because he doesn't necessarily work for Trump. He's not a government employee. I mean, what would you pay him? So, and that's strategic. That's strategic because he's not in Trump's cabinet. So that's a strategic move. And Elon Musk is going to make billions and billions. He's going to want to be the first trillionaire thanks to Trump. Why do you think he's there? He don't give a damn about Trump. He could care less about anybody but himself. He's like the ultimate megalomaniac. Trump, worships money. And communist leaders, Putin, Kim Jong-un, Viktor Orban. Those are the people that Trump admires. And you think for 1 second that he doesn't want to make America, well, he doesn't, but he's going to be working very hard for the next 4 years if he lives to try to get rid of the Constitution where he can stay president. Trust me. So, so we're going to be celebrating the MLK legacy on the same day that Trump comes into power. And, and I've never regretted voting for anybody because I didn't expect anything anyway. So I never regretted voting for Barack Obama, for example. And many folks have kicked Barack Obama's back in with both feet because they say he didn't do nothing for black folks. Black folks didn't do nothing for black folks. It had nothing to do with Barack Obama. What was he supposed to do? Let everybody out of jail? Change the laws? Less time? You can be a drug dealer and it's all right? What was he supposed to do? So, okay, well, Trump didn't work out. I mean, Barack Obama didn't work out. Joe Biden didn't work out. Trump didn't work out the first time, but you know what? I'm going to give him another shot. So you want him, you got him. But don't come crying to the R. Kelly show when your bubble gets busted, because it will. Believe that. But in the end, it's about 7 minutes before the hour. But in the end, I hope that for some of the things that he talked about, which I don't believe he can control, like food prices, gas prices, he didn't say anything about prescription drugs because he's got a lot of buddies who are presidents and CEOs of Merck and SmithKline Beecham and some of these other companies that making trillions of dollars a year. So, he's not going to say anything about that. But for the things that he did say, for the lies he told, for the things that he did say, I hope that, I hope he can lower food prices. Even I don't think he can. And there's no mechanism that allows him to do that. But let's see. I hope he can do that. I hope he can. Gas prices are not that high right now. But if he can lower them, sure. If he can lower gas prices, if he can lower food prices, if he can get away with no tax on overtime, sure. I hope he can do that. But for the other stuff, DEI, some of these other things he's talking about doing, president for life and all of this stuff, the stuff that's in the Project 2025. Now, I hope like hell he doesn't get any of that accomplished, because it's not going to help anybody, especially not black folks and minorities are not going to be helped by that. No. But for the things that he lied about and said he could help, okay, let's see. Why not? Give it a shot. 2 minutes before the hour. So anyway, everybody, all right, it's no, I won't be watching the inauguration. I won't be watching, and neither will Michelle Obama, who has said already that she's not going to be there. I don't know if she's just can't make it, or that's a power move, or I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why she's not coming. I have no idea. Okay, so shout out to the people at LinkedIn. We got a really big audience over at LinkedIn. Hundreds, thousands of people at LinkedIn who watch the Ron Kelly Show. Not so much on Facebook, but because I can't see everything. Shout out to the people overseas who check out the Ron Kelly Show. And some in Russia, as a matter of fact. What they listen to me for. Anyway, I appreciate it. But we're going to break up out of here. I want to thank everybody who has continued to help put the Ron Kelly Show on the map, where it is and where it's heading. Like I said, live on Facebook, YouTube. And it used to be, I have Twitter. I got to change that because there's no more Twitter. But anyway, we'll be back next week for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. So as I like to say, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And then we may not have it all together, everybody, but together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much for joining me, and I think